Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we have episode 30 of the Attitude Era Review series. Capital Carnage, 1998. This is the only Capital Carnage the WWF ever done. Not sure why or why not. I love the name of this show. I think this could have been a staple of their UK tour. You know, hey, let's bring back Capital Carnage next year, hopefully. First off, this pay-per-view had mixed reviews upon, reviewing this show. I found some people liked it a lot, some people didn't like it a lot. I enjoyed this show quite a bit. This is the first pay-per-view in London, England since the 1992 SummerSlam. And, they would do yearly pay-per-views after this in the UK area for the next 3 or 4 years until they signed a new deal, which they did three tours a year, but no pay-per-views, going into, 2004, 2005. So this is December the 6th, 1998, London, England, at the London Arena. You got 10,441 in attendance. Good old JR and the King. And I will say about this box art is this is some of my favorite artwork. A lot of action shots or, portrait shots. And then you got your Big Ben clock down there, several buildings and whatnot. And the spine, also one of my favorites with the clock. Back here you got Edge and Al, you got The Rock versus X-Pac, Triple H and Jarrett. Decent artwork on there. You got about a 3-hour runtime. So let's get into this with the first match of the night. Gangrel versus Al Snow. Good back and forth. And so Gangrel with the Northern Lights suplex for a 2. Edge and Christian ends up making their way down. Christian distracting the referee, and Gangrel is hit with the head from Al Snow. Missile dropkick off the top rope to Al Snow. Gangrel getting the 3 count here. And then after the match, we see Mick Foley in the Boiler Room Brawl. Or in the Boiler Room, not the Boiler Room Brawl. And Mick Foley is just cutting a promo on tonight's main event, which is a fatal 4-way for a number 1 contenders spot. Yeah. Second match of the night. It is important to note some of these matches had time limits, others did not. So it's kind of weird to see some of these with time limits, some of them with not. We got LOD 2000 versus the Headbangers. Honestly, I could never get into any of these two teams. Especially LOD 2000. I just wasn't buying it. You got Draws and the Animal on this one. This was right after the whole Hawks fall from grace and whatnot. Animal, who appears very dominant, and Draws ends up getting rolled up for the 3. After about 4 minutes, Animal puts the boots to Draws. You see clips from Raw now. Austin Kane putting the shovel to the Undertaker, and Paul Bearer down the manhole. So that was always a classic Raw segment, shoving Paul Bearer down the sewer pipe. Michael Cole interviewing the Undertaker and about the Fatal 4-Way match. third match of the night. Val Venus versus Goldust. Goldust getting a fantastic reaction here. You can say what you want about the Goldust character, but that guy was over as ever. He got a huge reaction here. And this was right after the artist formerly known as Goldust and him wearing all the goofy makeup and whatnot and all the different colored outfits. And he's just back to being plain old Goldust at this point. So early on in the match, they roll through a crossbody for a 2 count. Goldust does. Shattered Dreams, but the refs block it. Val Venus ends up rolling him up for a 3. After the match, Val Venus is on the end of a curtain call and Shattered Dreams. And that gets a huge pop. Again, we see clips from Raw with or just clips, I guess, with Vince at the Prime Minister's office at the Oxford Union. This was actually pretty cool and out of character for McMahon at the time. Something I enjoyed. You see Pat, Jerry, Shane, and Vince on stage cutting a promo. They say that Triple H will not be in the main event. It'll be X-Pac versus The Rock and Triple H versus Jeff Jarrett. I'm not sure why, but I'm pretty sure it's because Triple H just returned from injury and they didn't want to beat him. That's kind of my guess. And they didn't want to beat The Rock either, who had just become a WWF champion a couple of weeks prior to this. Fourth match of the night. Oh, it also was reported during the Val Venus Goldust match that Val Venus had a vasectomy and Terry Runnels was pregnant. Yeah, they were actually trying to push that. Fourth match, Tiger Ali Singh versus Edge. This goes about 2 minutes. Pretty much nothing match. Tiger wins with the feet on the rope. And Michael Cole is in the ring with Vinnie Jones. I have no clue who this guy is, Vinnie Jones. They were joking about him on commentary a lot. They were kind of pushing this guy a lot during this time, or during this show. Fifth match of the night is Christian and Sable versus Marc, Mero, and Jacqueline. This is kind of like a WrestleMania 14 rematch almost. Instead, you're switching out Edge for Christian. I thought this was a good match. This is Marc Mero's last match in WWE. I think ever, actually. He did sign with WCW. He might have had a couple of matches, but this is pretty much the end of his career. You know, people could hate on Marc Mero, the Johnny B. Bad character, all they want. But I was actually kind of getting into his character throughout '98. It kind of sucks what happened with him. I'm happy to see him cleaned up and whatnot. And, you know, he was just in a rough place at this time. And he got out of the business. So we see a Sable bomb to Marc Mero. And I believe Christian and Marc Mero battle it out. TKO to Jacqueline for the 3 count. So this match goes pretty short. It's kind of weird that Marc Mero just kind of walked out of his last match and whatever. So, 6th match of the night. Ken Shamrock versus Steve Blackman. Shamrock is the IC champ now. We got Big Boss Man at ringside. This is a short, good back and forth match. Got the baseball bat slide to Big Boss Man. Or the baton. It was a baton to Steve Blackman. Ankle lock to retain. This was an okay match, you know. Again, 2 kind of newer guys to the business, as well as Blackman and Shamrock. I always liked both these guys. So to me, they're kind of growing these guys, growing their feud out, which would kind of continue for almost another year. Then we see Michael Cole with The Rock cutting a promo, and this is the promo where Rock is kind of doing everyone's promos. Rock is like, I got the 24-inch. No. This is the, to be the man. And then he's like, I'm the best there is, the best there was. And then he cuts a little woo at the end. But The Rock is just having fun and games here. 7th match of the night. Triple H versus Jeff Jarrett. This is Triple H's first match back after knee surgery following, SummerSlam 98. This awesome match with The Rock in the ladder match. So Triple H would never regain the IC title after that. For 3 or 4 years. They never really continued that story. They just kind of went with him in the main event look. Triple H with the high knee. You got Deborah out there. He blocks the catapult just by standing up. I never seen that done before. That is the greatest counter to the catapult, I think. Just stand up. Jeff Jarrett goes outside, grabs a chair, which is grabbed by China. Pedigree for 3. Triple H with a huge reaction here. D'Lo Brown, who I thought was the European champion. I must have just been getting my timelines wrong on here. Because I could have swore X-Pac was the European champ here. Yeah, so this whole thing kind of just threw me off. It would be, I believe X-Pac was the European champ at this time. This is about the 1.5 minute mark. And D'Lo Brown is just doing like a tour of Europe at this time, which is weird. 8th match of the night, the New Age Outlaws versus D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. This was really a clash of styles here. Decent match. We see clips from the date with Mark Henry and China. Outlaws retain here after they spike D'Lo on his head with a pile driver. The 9th match of the night for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. The Rock versus X-Pac. They do this whole thing where Rock says, just walk out, give The Rock the win. And he's met by Triple H. X-Pac misses the Bronco Buster. Corporate elbow for a 2. This match ends on a DQ, and it's a 3-on-1 attack on The Rock. Kind of opposite, I think, what they wanted here. With this could have been a really good match. They would have a great match on Raw, I think, in 99, or shortly after this, or before this, somewhere in the middle. X-Pac and The Rock had an awesome match on Raw where this was nowhere near it. And the main event, the Fatal 4-Way, now they are stacking the deck against Stone Cold Steve Austin. You got Shane McMahon, who is the ring announcer. Pat Patterson, the timekeeper. Jerry Briscoe is the referee. And you have Vince McMahon on commentary. This is just all-out carnage. It's pretty much what they were looking for. You had Undertaker with a chokeslam to Stone Cold and Kane. Mankind pulling out Undertaker. Stone Cold reverses the tombstone. Stunner to Kane. And Austin wins the match. This is just a fun match to go back and watch. I only watched this pay-per-view once probably in the last 20 years. So it is fun to go back and watch these shows. Even though they are kind of what I'd like to say, the glorified house show type of pay-per-views. They're still fun watches. So Austin, I believe, would become #1 contender, but he would be forced into the Buried Alive match with Undertaker at Rock Bottom to win an opportunity to compete in the 99 Royal Rumble. So they are just kind of screwing and pulling Austin's leg wherever they can. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. This was a fun show. 2 hours, 45 minutes it runs. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Comment some of your memories of this show if you haven't seen it. I'm going to definitely recommend you checking it out. As always, our next episodes of the Attitude Era review series will be No Mercy from October of 99 and the Survivor Series from 99. We're getting back on track here and finishing a couple of shows that I missed early on. So comment down below. We'll talk to you later. Peace.